everybody, and welcome to this month's edition of List Critics.
List Critics.
I would like to introduce myself. I am obviously the Tanya Botello, CEO of Kasara Studios, and the person who is the man, John Sierra.
AKA NecroVMX. But you knew that because you're on my channel, and if you don't know that, well, you got some problems, son. Damn, Jack. Damn. We got a lot of great lists. Some were sent in by fans. Some were found on the internet by fans. And it's going to be really interesting. I have a list here from Baxter Films. His top 15 favorite films off the top of his head.
Okay.
So let's see. At number 15, we have Strangers on a Train, which was the Hitchcock movie, and you really can't go wrong with Hitchcock.
Hitchcock, I don't know. I'm a little... Some of them weren't the best, but I do like Hitchcock, so yeah.
Well, he made so many that there was bound to be some missteps.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
So.
Strangers on a Train was a good one, though. Number 14... One of my favorites is Clockwork Orange.
Ooh, Clockwork Orange. Oh, of course. That's...
Now, that's been a huge point of contention between me and our mutual friend Andrew, who hates the movie.
That movie's trippy as hell. I love it, but...
Yeah. He thinks it's pretentious and stupid and, overrated, and we're past getting into arguments about that because neither is going to change the other's mind. But we used to have epic arguments about Clockwork Orange. So there you have it. At number 13, one of my favorite comedies of all time is Clerks.
Ooh, Clerks.
I'm getting a little bit of a delay. Are you hearing me okay?
I get like a second or two delay over here. I don't know why, but it's really weird.
Well, don't worry about it. Just make sure everything's okay. Number 12 is Do the Right Thing. I've never heard of that one.
I've never heard of it either.
Want I should look it up? I'm going to look it up. Let's see. Do the Right Thing apparently came out in 1989. If the thing ever loads, I'll tell you more info. It's a Spike Lee film. That's why I've never seen it. I don't like Spike Lee.
I'm not a big fan. I've never been a big fan.
Yeah. He's pretty much a huge racist, so that prevents me from watching his films right there. Moving on, number 11 is Rebel Without a Cause, the classic James Dean movie. I mean, you can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Number 10, The Breakfast Club. I always felt
that
one was overrated. To be.
I'm sorry, I do like that one. It's,
I don't know. I'm always like, yeah, The Breakfast Club, whatever, It just never tickled my pickle.
Tickled your pickle.
Number 9, yeah. Number 9, Jerkin the Gherkin, He ruffled my waffle, Number 9 is another one of my favorite comedies, is Superbad.
Oh, Superbad.
Yeah. That was a movie that was way funnier than I
actually thought it was going to be like blah, but it turned out pretty damn good, actually. So, yeah.
Yeah. Number 8 is Ratatouille. I've never seen Ratatouille, but I have a feeling you have.
And so hasn't my wife, and we both love it.
Yeah. Because you have rats.
We have Ratatouille here anyway.
And you have kids in the house, so makes sense, But I've never seen it. Number 7 is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That's a classic. Jack Nicholson,
that you can't really go wrong with. Yeah. Unfortunately, every role after that, he played the same character. Just
Joker!
saying, Even that, he was playing basically Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. The guy's insane.
So there you go. At number 6, we have another. This is an older movie. This is actually the oldest movie on his list. Is Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, Sunset Boulevard. Is that 1950? Wow. Wow.
1950. Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. That actually that beats out Strangers on a Train for oldest movie on here, because Strangers on a Train was 1951. So
Wow.
there you have it. I'm gonna move on here. Not much to say about that. I mean, it's a
just
decent
wow.
movie. Yeah. Number five is Toy Story. I've never seen
You've
it.
never
I really
seen
don't want to
Toy
see
Story?
it. I've never. No.
John.
I don't see the appeal.
Necro.
It's not exactly. It's not exactly an original concept.
Oh,
Toys
come
come to life.
I can't help. Maybe this is like the little kid in me, or my wife, whatever, or the fact that we already seen like 3,000 times with the kids, but it grows on you. It does. It grows on you.
I don't know. I maybe one day I'll catch it on TV or something, but really, number 4, and this is a great one. Back to the Future.
Wow! Now come on. How classic can you get?
Yeah. You had Michael J. Fox at probably his best. You had
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah.
What's his face at his best?
Christopher
Lloyd. That's right. I forgot his name for a second. Probably. And he's another one that he was playing that role for every other movie.
It's true.
So definitely an iconic role. Number 3, Sin City.
One of my favorites. Love
Sin
City.
You know, I'm not a fan of the comics, because I felt it was just Frank Miller jerking off to film noir, But then when you see it as a movie, as an actual film noir, and especially that Frank Miller didn't direct it, that really helped too. It worked really well, and plus, you had so many great big stars. You had Bruce Willis, you had Mickey Rourke, in what was kind of a comeback.
And you also had Ron Perlman.
You had Rosario Dawson, you had Michael Clarke
Duncan,
you
A-listers.
had Adrian Brody. I mean, it was just it just list went on and on. It was and we've all been waiting for the sequel, and Robert Rodriguez has been doing other things, and I've heard that he's finally starting to work
confirmed. On Sin
City 2.
I can't wait for it.
So hopefully it'll be as good. Number 2 is Ed Wood, a great film that unfortunately is rather hard to come by. Not only is it hard to come by,
it's actually rather underrated for a lot of people. I'll mention it to people and they won't have a clue what I'm talking about.
Well, I think it was Johnny Depp back when he was just a character actor and he wasn't like a superstar like he is now, and Tim Burton has always been famous, but that was kind of the movie that everyone overlooked.
It just doesn't get the recognition it really needs. It's a great movie,
Yeah, definitely. And his number 1 film of all time, and this is one of my very favorites,
Pulp Fiction. That's one of Richie's favorites too. Is Pulp Fiction? We love it. It's great.
I think it's everybody's favorite. It's just Quentin Tarantino just doing what he does best, and this is another movie that has just a huge ensemble cast with so many stars. You had Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta, who was, that was kind of a comeback role for him too in Pulp Fiction. And the casting in
that role was great.
Uma Thurman, I mean, that was kind of the beginning of her career, but
it led to Kill Bill, put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Ving Rhames. I mean, it's just so many great stars in that. Christopher Walken. I had that uncomfortable hunk of metal in my ass for 15 years.
I love Christopher Walken's one of my favorites. I love him.
Yeah, he's great. Too bad his role was very small. But, okay, so that's his top 15 films. And I gotta say, it is an impressive list, especially that it's off the top of his head. He didn't really sit and put too much thought into this. So, there's nothing on here that the only thing on here that I would say I didn't really like that much was The Breakfast Club, and I haven't seen Toy Story, so I can't really judge it. But I'm going to give this a 14 out of 15.
I'm actually going to say, honestly, I couldn't see a problem with that list, because I have seen those movies, and honestly, I'm going to say 15 out of 15.
15 out of 15 from the Tanya. So here we have a list from Uber McPhail Sauce. And this is his top 5 most overrated bands. And yeah, this is, anything like this, anything where you're talking about things that are overrated, you're going to cause controversy. He has a little note here. He says, "Please note that by overrated, I don't necessarily mean bad, although some of them are bad."
Thanks, Uber.
So, number five, he puts insert Beatles solo act here. So I guess what he's really saying is, John Lennon solo stuff, Paul McCartney solo stuff, George Harrison solo, all the solo. Now, I gotta say, George Harrison's solo stuff, if anything, was underrated. Because he never got the big sales that the others got. I actually
gotta plead the fifth here because I'm gonna say this, but I've never been into the Beatles at all. I can't get into them.
All right,
just
That's
can't.
Fine. That's fine. But as for the solo acts, I don't see that they're so overrated that the four of them together wind up on this list. You know what I mean?
It's like all four of them, but
yeah. Number four. This I do agree with.
Oh, U2. Oh.
Now they were a good band back in the day when they were releasing albums like War and the Joshua Tree and Achtung Baby, and then they decided that they were superstars and that they were the greatest band in the history of rock and roll, and they started.
Not only did they start to suck, they started to suck ass twice on Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely. Now I can't stand listening to anything from the album that was called Pop Onward. I can't stand listening to any of it.
It's so bad. It just makes me want to vomit.
And every time you think they're like, oh, we're going to come back, we're going to go back to our roots, and then they release like an album that has like one kind of old school song, and it's the same new track on there, So I got to definitely agree with that. Number 3 is Slipknot, and I have to fully agree with that because they're terrible.
I haven't been a Slipknot really fan for so many years.
I never was, and I don't understand how they have all those Grammys and respect. I mean, I just want to point one thing out about Slipknot, because I'm sure we have at least one or two Slipknot fans listening to this. There's fucking 9 of them. There is never, unless you're doing big band jazz, there's not a reason to have 9 guys in your band, especially having, what is it? They have like 3 drummers,
right? Am I right about that?
Stupid. They have 3, yeah. They have one guy they call a drummer, and then 2 others that they call custom percussionists.
Yeah, it's 3 drummers basically. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then they have one guy who does turntables, and I'm like, you have a keyboardist. Why do you need a guy to do turntables?
Can't you get all the synth sounds out of your keyboard? It's like.
Yeah, all your samples and everything should be done through a keyboard. So really, that's a guy that just like has like pictures of 2 of them blowing each other or something, and that's how he got into his band. I that's the only thing I can think of.
That was
great. Number 2, and I couldn't agree more with number 2. Also, is the Rolling Stones.
So overrated, completely overrated.
They're not that good. A lot of people because they were coming around, the same time, and they're both British, and they were friendly with each other. A lot of people have the whole Rolling Stones versus Beatles debate. To me, it's not even a debate. The Stones suck.
I've never been into them.
They're
ever.
Terrible.
I can't stand them.
If you take all of their music from 40, 50 years that they've been in music, and you take all the songs, maybe you can cobble together enough good songs to make 1 or 2 albums. The problem is that they have like 20 albums.
And it's just not worth it. It really isn't.
No, it's not. I mean, as I've always said, 40 years in the music industry, and their biggest contribution is that they're British.
I think there's like one song I like from them, and that's about it. And all the 40 years they've been in business, one song I like.
And by the way, I do like the Beatles. I am a Beatles fan, but I have to say, to the people who sit there and argue about who's better, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, I just want to say that the Who kicks both of their asses.
The Who is awesome, dude. Yeah.
I just want to point that out. As a matter of fact, and I think this is an irrefutable fact, that the Who was the first band in the history of rock and roll to kick ass. Like, there were good bands before that, but nobody kicked ass.
No, the Coup. Yeah, the Coup. The Coup. Wow.
The Coup.
Cuckoo.
It's a band of pigeons. Cuckoo. Yeah, it's a Beatles thing right there. No, but in all seriousness, the Who invented kicking ass.
They did. When the Who came on stage, it was beyond words. It really was.
Yeah. Number one, and I have to say he's cheating here because he puts two completely unrelated bands at number one. I guess they're tied. Just make it a top 6 list. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a round number. If you have top, I mean, so he has both Kiss, and which I totally agree with, and Nirvana, which I somewhat
Okay. Well,
agree
I have
with.
to take a little bit of issue with Nirvana. I mean, I've been a Nirvana fan for a very long time. I was a very big fan of their
Yeah.
Unplugged album. You know,
Oh,
yeah. I
that
mean,
was good.
honestly,
Yeah, that really showed you. That really showed you that there was more to those songs than
yeah.
just being loud and
Honestly, no.
angry.
I could see. I definitely. I can't see Nirvana being. Oh, as a matter of fact, I think Nirvana is actually somewhat underrated.
I think they are overrated in the sense that, especially in the few years following Kurt Cobain's death, that they were sort of elevated to being like the Beatles of their generation, which is not
No,
even
no,
close
no.
to being
That's not
true.
true. No, I mean,
Like they were they were
I
comparing
don't know.
Kurt Cobain
I don't really. I
with
mean,
John Lennon, and it was just it got to be. I think that now after the furor is over, they're not as
that's what I
overrated
mean. I mean,
as
like
they used to
nowadays,
be.
you still hear about Metallica and you still hear about, but you don't hear
Yeah,
Nirvana that often. You know?
yeah, and I mean I was a big fan of them as a kid, as a teenager, and I still will listen to them every once in a while, and
Yeah,
I think they're good.
I've never been a
As for
fan.
Kiss, Kiss, for the first few albums they were very good, and then after that they had a few good songs here and there. But generally speaking, and I hate to say this because it's such a cliche, but when they got popular, they
Well,
started to
and
suck.
that's a lot of bands actually get into that. Is that when
Yeah,
they become popular, all of a sudden it's like they have this weird chip on their shoulder that gets into their music, and it's like, you know.
yeah. I mean, they did a disco song. I mean, and you've heard it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking
and
about. I was
it,
born
it,
for
it makes my eyes water
loving you.
just
You know, I
thinking about
mean, I'll tell you, there's a shop not too far from here. Well, it is far from here, but in Pennsylvania, everything's far away. But it's a shop about a half hour from here called Rock Fantasy, and a music store that specializes in heavy metal and rock and roll. Nothing else, You won't find Perry Como or 50 Cent there. Anyway, there's a mashup I
50
want to
Cent,
see. Perry
yeah.
Como, 50 Cent. No, but no, but in seriousness, I was in there once and I was hearing this really heavy rockin' tune. It sounded like some of the best kind of 70s metal, and I said, "What is this?" And they said it was Kiss. It was from like their first album, and I said, "I didn't know they used to be that good." And then they put they started with the makeup and the histrionics and all you need from them is a greatest hits album. After that, it's
Yeah,
not that
I would
important.
agree. Yeah.
But as for Nirvana, I don't know about that. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 because like I said, I somewhat object to Nirvana, and I somewhat object to the Beatles solo act, especially since it's very
I'm going to say
non-specific.
3 out of 5 for mostly the same reason, except for obviously the Beatles one. I had to say 3 out of 5
Yeah,
because, well, the Nirvana thing got to me, obviously. That was. But
yeah,
honestly, I'm not
yeah,
really, too keen on the Beatles, so I can't really speak to that. So it's like.
yeah. I have 2 lists here sent in by
Hi,
WW
WWE
Lover
lover.
100, and we have his. Okay, he's ranked the boss battles in Batman Arkham City from
Oh,
best to
really?
worst.
Huh.
And this is interesting because when he sent me this list, I refused to look at it because I was still playing it. But now that I've beaten it, I looked at it and I don't know, man. So starting with his worst and moving up to the best, he only has 7 bosses on here, so he's definitely left some
Interesting.
off,
Okay.
which is interesting because if you're ranking them from best to worst, you really should include them all. He doesn't have
He
Mad
does.
Hatter
Wow.
on here.
Okay.
No, he doesn't have Mad Hatter, and some of these don't belong on here, really. But I'm just going to go, okay, so number 7 is Mr. Hammer, who, he, I don't know, was he really a boss?
Honestly,
He was just like a elevated mook. I mean, when you fought, the fake Joker the first time, and there were all those guys, and he did call Mr. Hammer and Mr. Sickle, and they were attacking him at the same time, and that's kind of
it's like a
almost
mini
like a
boss
boss
almost.
battle.
It's
But, well, I don't want to get into it now because the reason that I object to that being on the list at all is a little
okay.
bit later.
All right.
Number 6 is Solomon Grundy, which I thought that
I
was a
have to agree.
great
No,
boss
that was
battle.
actually a really well done boss battle. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to disagree with the place, not only the placement, but the fact that number 5 is the Penguin, who I would really put the Penguin and Solomon Grundy as one thing. Because the Penguin was controlling Solomon Grundy, and then after you finally take him down, all you really had to do was
It just
walk up
punch
to the
him.
Penguin
Yeah,
and
so
punch
it's
him.
like
Yeah.
they would all be one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4 is Mr. Freeze, which I thought was
Okay,
the
no,
best boss
that
battle
should
in the
definitely
game.
not be on that list. No, I love that boss fight.
Well, it should be on the list, but it
Oh,
should be
yeah.
like number 1 or 2, not number 4. Yeah. Now, see, number 3, he has the Joker. And spoiler alert, people, you don't actually fight the Joker
No, you
in
think
this game at all. The closest thing to a Joker fight, and it's still the fake Joker, is when you're fighting him, a whole bunch of mooks, and Mr. Hammer and Mr. Sickle all at the same time. So I would combine those two. And like I said, he doesn't have Mad Hatter on here, and there's probably 1 or 2 more things that are out of my mind right now that he doesn't have on here, but I
I think there
swear
are
there
two,
are more
yeah.
bosses than this. Number 2 is Clayface, which, spoiler
Yeah,
alert, was the
it was
last
good.
boss. It was a great battle, but it was a little on
I
the
was
easy
I was actually
side.
gonna say that for me at least, it was definitely on the easier side of things. I whipped that boss's ass.
Yeah, I thought, like I said, like it doesn't belong higher. I thought Mr. Freeze was
I
the
loved it.
best part of the game. And number 1 is my second favorite is Ra's al Ghul, which they
Ra's al
pronounced
Ghul, yeah.
Ra's al Ghul for some reason, and I don't know why they did that, but at least the movie Batman
Yeah,
Begins
that's
got
true.
it right. Although actually they said
Did
Ra's
they
al
actually say
Ghul
Ra's al Ghul instead of
Ra's
Ra's
al Ghul.
al Ghul?
Yeah, well, I think that Liam Neeson said it right, but the other actors were saying
Ra's al
Ra's
well,
al
well,
Ghul.
whatever.
Yeah. But okay, so he's putting Ra's al Ghul as the best, and I liked it. I thought it was the second, but really though, you have to have Mr. Freeze at number 1. If you're going to include Mr. Hammer, like, what's the reason for not including the Mad Hatter?
Yeah, I thought that was a little odd. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just a strange list. It's not terrible, but out of 7, I'm gonna give it
I'm actually going to go a tad bit lower because I think the order is really misconstrued. So I'm actually going to say 3.
Okay. Here's his other list, and this one I don't know why he sent it in. I really don't. He has ranked the Metal Gear Solid games from
Just
from
a
worst to
disclaimer
best.
here: I'm not into the Metal Gear Solid games at all.
Neither am I. This isn't a list that I can rank high or low. I don't care about it, but I. All right, I'm just going to read it out. He did leave
Okay.
notes with each one, so I'll read those as well. So number 6, his pick for the worst one, and I think all the Metal Gear fans kind of agree with this. By the way, he's not including Metal Gear or Metal Gear 2, so
Oh,
it's only the
okay,
Solid
all right.
games on this. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, is his pick for the worst. He says it's heavily underwhelming, and the final fight with Solidus was far
Okay.
too easy. For a Metal Gear fan, I'm surprised you didn't put Mr. Freeze higher, because that was a Metal Gear-esque
Oh, that's
boss
true.
battle.
Yeah.
Which is strange that I like that so much, and I don't like Metal Gear. Go figure. Number 5 is Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops, which was the one on the the first one on the PSP. He says it's a really odd way to add to the story of Big Boss or Snake in Metal Gear Solid 3, but somehow it
Okay.
works decently. Okay. Number 4, he puts Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. He says good, but it could have done so much more with it. Once again, our mutual friend Andrew is a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear in general, and he did not like that.
Okay,
one.
I'll err on the side of Andrew then.
He said it. Yeah, he said it was the controls were just terrible. So there you go. Number 3 is the original Metal Gear Solid. He says great game all around, but shame that they kill my favorite character. Well, boo-hoo. Number 2, his second favorite is Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. He says it plays great. The extra ops gave an RPG element to this game and does so much more to add to the story of Big Boss.
Okay, all right.
Okay, yeah. And number 1 is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Anyone who has played this game and any other game in the series knows that hands down this is the best. Well, Andrew says that too, so he's
Oh,
probably right.
okay.
Out of a scale from 1 to 6, I'm going to rate this as okay.
That's what I'm going to say. Okay.
No, you know what? I'll give it a. I don't know. I'm gonna pick a number. Blah, 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 I'm gonna pick it a 5.
I'll go with
There you
5
go,
too.
5 out
There
of
we go.
6.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, why not? Right? Why not? I mean, it's just. It's unfortunate, but you hit on a subject that neither of us
Sorry.
is interested in. So that happens. Now here we have. This was sent in by Mr. Lover of Ganja. It wasn't written by him. It was written by someone named Nahil the Guardian, and it's on thetop10s.com. It's the top 10 worst social networking sites.
Okay.
So, which is pretty much all of them.
All of them at this point. All right.
Yeah, yeah. And number 10, he has Tag.
I've never even heard of it either.
Heard of.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 9 is High Five, which is another one that I've never heard of. Never heard of it. Number 8 is
I've heard of that one.
Tumblr,
okay, yeah.
which is a blogging site. There are a few good Tumblrs out there that, you know, if you're into like memes and whatnot, but other than that, I have no interest in having one, you know. Number 7 is Pinterest. This is sort of a newer one. I don't know much about it, but I know it's gained a little traction as of late. Number 6 is Flickr. Is Flickr a social networking site? I thought that was just
I could have sworn that was just image host. Maybe they upped the ante a little bit. I don't know.
Let me go to Flickr right now. I could have sworn that it was just that they, you know, a place to.
Maybe you can update your status on there or whatever now.
Yeah, it is social. They still have image sharing, but it also has keep up with your friends and share your stories with comments and notes. Add rich information like tags, location, and so it's basically a social network site that revolves around the photos you upload. So not only is it just a place to store your photos, but you could put like, you know, descriptions
and tag people. Oh, okay, all right. Well,
you know what? It doesn't sound that bad. So whatever. Is it really worse than like, Tumblr
no,
or
but
whatever?
hey.
Are you hearing? You're hearing me. Skype gives me these weird messages every once in a while. It just told me no microphone detected.
I'm hearing you.
Like, winning.
Okay.
I don't know. Moving on. Number 5 is Facebook, which is I like Facebook.
I still like it, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 4 is Bebo, which never heard of it, but I have a feeling that it's something that
actually, believe it or not, being an old-time AOL role player, we used Bebo for our profile, for our characters' profiles, actually, because AOL switched over to Bebo when they got rid of their own profiles.
Oh.
And I can honestly say, Bebo, it's lost any of its allure that any of it once had, so it's kind of gone. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Number 3 is MySpace, which I'm surprised.
I was just gonna say it's not number 1.
MySpace has always been awful, and especially now that they're trying to be like Facebook light. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. You know the guy that created Facebook? You know Tom? I'm sorry, the guy that created MySpace.
Tom. I remember Tom.
Tom has a Facebook, and I found Tom's Facebook, and apparently he hates MySpace now too.
That's wow.
Yeah, he left because people asked him like, "Why do you have a Facebook?" And he says, "I like Facebook." I said, "You know, why did you leave MySpace?" Well, I left the company in 2009, and I don't like where they went with it.
That tells you something.
Yeah. Number 2 is Friendster, which is really a joke. I mean, what did that last? All of 5 seconds?
I was just gonna say that was. I thought it was for the lols. Honestly, I really did. It just.
You know what? I'm shocked. I haven't seen Google.
I think Google Plus should be number 2.
Friendster and Google Plus kind of go hand in hand. They were both like, oh, it's gonna be so awesome, and then it really wasn't. Especially since Google already had a social networking site called Orkut, which was, for some reason, it's only popular in India. Like it became like it's the Facebook of India. And the number 1 worst social networking site, and I have to agree with this.
Oh, Twitter.
Is Twitter.
Oh.
Give me a
within the span of 150 characters. Is it 100 or 160? It's one or the other.
Is
it 100? Oh, I thought it was 150 now. I could be wrong.
I've always heard that it was 140, but I did hear that they were thinking of upping it to 160, but I don't know if they did it or not because I don't have Twitter. So.
It's so overrated. It really is.
By the way, I just want to point something out about this before we rate it, because I just want to point out that this has share icons for several social networking sites on this list. They have, and I just want to tell you, they have Google+, they have Facebook, they have Twitter, they have, what is that? Reddit, which wasn't on the list. They have StumbleUpon, which also wasn't on the list. They have FormSpring, Blogger, and that's it. So it's interesting the way that turned. So I gotta say, yeah, it's a good list. I was surprised not to see Google Plus on here, but a few of these I haven't heard of, but it's probably for a good reason. I'm gonna go ahead and give it.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say 10 out of 10. Yeah, I think I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, at first, like, when I got to MySpace, I'm like, okay, why isn't that number one? But then what's above it is Twitter and Friendster, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
those are dumber. Yeah. So there you have it. Okay, moving along here then. Okay, so this next one is an internet list set in by Mr. Lover of Ganja, frequent contributor to List Critics. And this is the top 20 best natural breasts in the world.
You immediately got my attention.
Yeah, my attention too. Didn't we ask for a list like this? I think we actually
did ask for a list like this, and apparently we got answered. Yeah. So there we go.
There you go. Love it when that happens. Now this is interesting because it says top 20 best natural breasts in the world, but it's actually 10, and it took me a few seconds to get that. Like, oh, I see. Yeah, okay, I see what you did there. So the only criteria is that they can't be.
I'm down with that. Are you down with that?
They don't have to. I'm down with that. They don't have to be huge, but they do have to be
Just a disclaimer, I do tend to like the big boobs, so just,
Well, everybody likes the big ones. It's just that I happen to like them all. Big, as Al Bundy said, big ones, little ones, medium ones, it's all good. All right, so number 10 is Eva Mendes. This list has pictures. I have to send you the pictures because we got to get... Because I'm enjoying looking at them, but we have to get your reaction too. So there's the Eva Mendes picture.
Let's see Eva Mendes. Come on, load. Oh, baby.
Yeah, and each of these has a note, which I'll read along. It says, Eva Mendes has been showing off her rack of late. She appeared topless this year in Vogue Italy and caused controversy in a commercial for a Calvin Klein perfume that was deemed too hot for television and subsequently banned.
Can I see the band?
So there you have it. Well, it's a video. So
and just everybody knows, my wife just saw this. She's looking from over and across the room, and she went, ooh, hot.
She might want to stick around for the rest of this.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Okay. So, just so you know, Carissa, we are doing the top 20 best natural breasts, 10 women. So you see what they did there.
There's supposed to be 20 pictures, not 10 pictures.
You just want to see more boobs, but okay, go ahead. The 20 boobs?
Well, they're 20 boobs.
20 boobs?
Yeah. Doesn't count. Not right.
So number 9 is Sarah Jean Underwood. Here's the picture. She was a Playboy Playmate.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hello. Although I'm not really a fan of the upper part, believe it or not. Yeah.
What, the face?
Oh, honestly, cute. This is gonna sound really weird.
Wait, is it the freckles that's...
No. I actually find freckles to be pretty attractive. It's not that at all. I look at the way... maybe it's just the way the picture is, but honestly, from her face just doesn't look very attractive to me. The rest of her is, but... Yeah.
I think it looks good.
I guess I am picky.
Nah. I think she's very pretty. Okay, moving on. Number 8 is Monica Bellucci. We've all seen her boobs. We're all well aware of her boobs. But here's yet another picture.
Yes, I must see the boobs.
Oh, wait, I didn't read the note for Sarah Jean Underwood. Let me read that. Sarah Jean Underwood was last year's Playmate of the Year and is soon to be star in Spike's new digital series, Ask a Playmate. This petite 24-year-old with a 32B bust was born and raised in Oregon and has the distinction of being both a Playboy Playmate and being an all-natural, a rare and impressive
I would say.
Playboy, they're all fake.
I would say like 98% of them are fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now, Monica Bellucci, I mean, we've We've seen those many times. This is what it says. Monica Bellucci is incredibly sexy. The Italian movie star has flawless milky white skin and bosoms to match. In 2004, she appeared naked on the cover of Italy's Vanity Fair while pregnant to protest against Italian laws that prevented the use of donor sperm. How does that protest anything? That just gives me horror. She has appeared topless in many films and is probably best known as a topless vampire in Bram Stoker's Dracula, one of my favorite movies. I put Uranus on her breasts.
Why?
Why? Okay, never mind that. I don't know. They're trying to make a joke and it didn't work out too well. Number 7 is Kim Kardashian. Say what you will about her, she's got nice titties.
Well, I don't know. Let me look at the picture.
I'm not a fan of her, but she's good. She looks good.
Oh, she does have nice titties. I will give her that. Yeah.
She's got nice boobs.
Yeah, she's definitely got nice boobs. Nice and supple, round.
Kim. Here's the note. Kim Kardashian is a voluptuous woman, best known for her stolen sex tape. Stolen as in quotes, of course, and appearing in her own reality show. Her breasts are as big as her backside, which is a good thing, as they help balance her out. In 2007, she posed for Playboy, and more recently, she wrestled Carmen Electra in Disaster Film, her first film role.
Probably.
Number 6 is one of my very favorites, and I think one of the hottest women of all time.
Oh,
fucking A.
Scarlett. Oh, show me Scarlett.
Just send it to you. She's got the epic
cleavage
in the picture.
Oh, gorgeous. I
And this is the note. It says, I think Tanya's gonna start flipping it. Scarlett Johansson has amazing breasts. The 23-year-old actor, singer, and political activist does not believe in monogamy, which doesn't bode well for impending marriage to Ryan Reynolds. Scarlett is also a cheese freak, saying it's her main vice. This may help explain her wonderful milk jugs. That wasn't as witty as the writer thought it was. But it's okay, because there's pictures of boobs.
And hers are just immaculate. They really are.
Can you hear what's going on in the other room? The baby and the dog are playing with each other, so all I hear is him laughing.
Oh,
and
I
her
just heard the
growling
bark.
and barking.
Yeah.
I think he's chasing her or something. Number 5 is.
Halle Berry is.
Now I want to ask you about this. Here's the picture. Now sometimes they look really big, and sometimes they look really small. She got like an inflatable pop.
Well, like I remember in a couple of film roles where she looked like she had smaller boobs, but yet like in Catwoman, even though it was a role she rather forget.
Well, Catwoman was a terrible movie, but
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's and this picture just looks voluptuous. It's
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think she just changes cup size. This is the note. It says, Halle Berry recently gave birth and it did wonders for her cleavage. Oh, that's why they got bigger. Berry is one of the world's highest paid female actors and will take her top off for a price. She appeared topless in Swordfish, and here's how she'll do it again. Well, she was topless in more. She was topless in more movies. She was topless in Monsters Ball, though that wasn't very sexy.
Oh no, she wasn't very sexy in that one, actually. No.
Well, she was being raped.
No,
it's not really sexy, but yeah. Number 4, and this kind of goes into the same category as Kim Kardashian. Not a person I like. Say what you will about her, though. She has nice boobs. Jessica Simpson.
I'm not a fan of her, but
is this chicken or tuna?
Yeah, I mean, she might be clinically retarded, but she's got a nice rack. This is what it says. It's hard not to notice Jessica Simpson's breasts. They are clearly her best feature. The pop singer / country music star, that's in quotes, recently ruffled the feathers of PETA activists when she wore a t-shirt that read, "Real women eat meat," and in response to Pamela Anderson called her a bitch and a whore, which is a bit of the old pot calling the kettle black. Yeah.
She has nice boobies, so I will give her that.
So,
yes.
Yeah. Number 3 is Kelly Brook, who's apparently a British model who I've never heard of until now, but I gotta say, holy damn.
I've never seen her, so I'm curious what she looks like.
These are apparently natural. So.
They're all natural.
36, all natural, 36.
Oh, hi. Oh.
Yeah. British actress and model Kelly Brook has 2 vices: dating bald men and appearing nude on film. The British media are obsessed with her 36 double D breasts, and who wouldn't be? She was recently voted the woman most British men wish to date.
The woman most men want to date, period.
Yeah, I think they misspelled the word fuck there. Just want to point that
luscious.
out. Luscious. Yeah, she looks good. She looks good. Number 2 is Marissa Miller, who I also never heard of until I saw this. But here's the picture. It's in a bikini, so that's happy. It says, this year's Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition cover girl Marissa Miller began her career appearing topless in Perfect 10 magazine. She transitioned into more mainstream modeling after being noticed by a photographer on a Californian beach. Marissa's all-natural 34D breasts are why guys eagerly anticipate Victoria's Secret's annual catalog.
I love the boobage. I'm not crazy about the rest of her, though.
I don't know. I think she's hot. The thing is, her boobs actually look fake.
I can't help. I'm drawn to her ribs, actually, and I'm seeing her ribs.
Yeah, she's got like a puckered torso all over the place.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
Well, I think it's the weird position.
It doesn't look sexy.
It doesn't look comfortable. All right.
Yeah.
Are you ready for number 1? Got your heart attack medicine ready. Number 1 is Keely Hazel, who you may not have heard of, because I certainly haven't. But here's a picture of her epic cleave. Keely Hazel has the most astonishing breasts on the planet. She has made a career out of showing them off. Every week she appears topless in some magazine, and it never, ever gets old. Her 32E breasts are magnificent and will leave you at a loss for words. Kudos to you, Ms. Hazel. You make the
And not only are they 32E, but they are bodaciously fucking awesome.
It's the first time I've heard the word bodacious
I'm
since
using
the 80s.
an 80s term.
Congratulations.
That is how much it's fantastic.
So, since this is technically a top 20 list, let's rank it out of 20. I'm going to give it a 20.
I have to say, on boobage alone, I have to say 20.
Boobs are great. 20.
20.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, those were... there are a few chicks on there that I'd never heard of, and now I have, and...
Now you're a happier man.
And disclaimer, I'm still staring at the pic, so just,
And we had a guest stint from Carissa there for the duration of that list, so that was interesting too. Okay, now this next one has to do with porn.
Oh, this is great. This is great.
Now remember, we had a we had a porno list last time. It was terrible though. I'm hoping this one is better. It's the top 10 worst adult movies that you never want to see. Yeah. So there you go. 10 worst porn movies. I have
trepidation in my stomach right now.
Well, you should. Oh, and this is found on thefrisky.com, and it was sent in by
Thanks, Uber.
Failsauce. Let's see. So it's a slideshow type thing, so give me a second. Okay, so these aren't in any particular order either. They're not numbered, so here we have. The first one is Hard Candy, starring John Holmes in 3D. Do you really want to see John Holmes in 3D? No, you do not. I don't even want to see him in 2D.
I want to see that list of boobs in 3D.
And it says they have box covers. It says tell them Johnny Wad is here.
How about No.
And it also has a blurb that says the most exciting male in movies. Let's face it, nobody cares about who the guy is.
Unless you're a gay man, you're not going to care about the guy.
Girls never care.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, moving on. The next one is A Midsummer's Night Cream, mixing porno and Shakespeare. Very classy.
It's so smart, really. Yeah,
it's very classy there. The next one is The Uranus Experiment, featuring zero gravity sex. It sounds like it might be kind of fun to watch until you think about what's going to happen.
I was just going to say,
it's going to go everywhere. I mean, it's going to be floating with you.
Depends on where you float it.
Plus, it's got to be awkward to get any kind of leverage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How do you exactly stay in one area? You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, you're gonna be bumping into things. I don't know. It just doesn't sound as sexy as they probably. It's like a novelty that probably isn't worth it. Moving on. The next one is one of those infamous movie spoofs. They decided to do a porno version of The Lord of the Rings. And it's The Lord of the G-Strings, the female ship of the string. kudos for it to be a lesbian porn, but well, firstly, it's a terrible title, terrible idea, and I'm gonna send you the copy of the box here. They're not.
Oh, let me
women are not
see.
even hot.
As a lesbian, I'm a good
There you go.
judge of this. So let's see.
They got too much makeup on, and they're nothing special. To
Okay,
look at.
they're actually not sexy.
Yeah. That's
No.
not good looking. That's like third or fourth rate porno right there. So I'm glad I never saw it. I've never seen any
Lord
of these,
of the.
of course.
Oh my.
Lord of the G-strings, the female ship. I mean, that's just terrible. Okay. Oh God, really? Oh wow.
I
All right, you
think
ready
so.
For this next one? Frankenpenis.
What?
Frankenpenis.
You know,
You know, like Frankenstein was Franken. Now wait, you ready for this? Guess who the male porn star is in this? John Wayne Bobbitt. I'm sorry, but the only reason you'd watch that
I
is
think
for a
I'd
good
watch
laugh.
it for lols. Yeah, that'd be the only reason.
Yeah, Frankenpenis. Give me a. I mean, he did have his cock sucked back then. And the next one is Shauna Sand Exposed, which is the Shauna Sand sex tape with Lorenzo Lamas, I guess.
Whatever.
I don't think anybody wants to see
thank
Lorenzo
you.
Lamas
No.
naked. So. Not since the 90s, at least. I assume there were some lonely housewives back then that wanted to see him naked, but now
I hope so.
we're
I hope
beyond
so.
And finally, the last one on this list is a political one from Hustler. It's Who's Nailin' Palin?
That just made me throw up in my mouth.
And they get this chick to be a Sarah Palin lookalike, but she's not even as good looking as the real thing, so...
Yeah.
It's sad. So that's it.
Wow.
10 bad porns you don't want to see. Now, let's just rank. I mean, I guess it's a matter of taste. I mean, they could have filled this up with like poop porn and torture porn and that kind of stuff, and that would have been equally as valid. But I think they were going for mainstream stuff.
Yeah,
that's just
and
terrible.
I have to agree. They're all pretty damn terrible.
So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. I don't want to
totally
see any
agree.
of these.
A 10 out of 10.
Yeah. The dog and the baby are going nuts in the other room. Sounds like they're chasing each other around. Now, this is going off the schedule a little bit. There is a bonus. There is another list that this links to that I think it's related. So, oh wait, actually, there's one more on this list. That wasn't 10. Oh, there's 2 more. I'm sorry, there's 2 more. Like I said, they weren't numbers. Like, okay, the last 2 are. I'm still going to give it a 10 out of 10 because these look terrible. The last 2 are the Meat Man, where a meat delivery man fornicates with his customers using meat. And the last one is Edward Penis Hands. Enough said about that.
Yeah, in my brain, no. Just... Yeah.
So still 10 out of 10. What do you say? Yeah. Now, they have another list here. The top 10 scariest sex toys.
Okay, now this I gotta hear.
Yeah. So let's see how scary they really are. Once again, these aren't like numbered or anything, so I'm just gonna. So let's see. The first one is called the Squeal.
Squeal.
But it's SQWEEL. I'm looking at this thing. It looks like a fan. I can't understand how this could possibly use for sex. I'm going to send you the picture. Maybe you can shed some light on it. But
all right.
Here's the picture.
I'm actually going to bring in my wife, too, because you know what? It's good to have two brains looking at this. And 3. And
yeah.
Oh, I know what that's for.
So do I.
Well, maybe you can shed some light on it.
That's a female sex toy.
Yeah, it's...
Well, I know. Yeah, I figured that most sex toys are for females, but I don't see how that would be used.
It's supposed to stimulate the clitoral type thing.
Area.
Yeah. It would hurt.
Looks like it would
no,
hurt.
at least it would hurt me, and yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, though, no, I'm reading a review of it, and this woman gives it a really good review. She says it gets the job done. She says the only bad thing about it is that it's loud. But it is scary. I mean, you look at it, and it just looks like a fan made out of tongues, and it just looks like
I wouldn't ever buy that, but... Yeah.
The next one is the middle
The
finger
middle
vibrator.
finger vibe.
You got to see this. This looks like something that came out of like Carrot Top's chest of gay props. It doesn't look like something that somebody would
let's
actually
see.
use.
What?
Yeah,
W-A-T, what?
seriously. QAT. Terrible. The next one is the Tiger Woods sex doll.
No,
Which is called... Yeah, it's called Take Home Tiger. He's got major wood. This is what it says in the box. He's always ready to play an extra hole or two, and he'll show you his wood if you show him your
face
hole.
in the world slowly erodes.
Okay, enough with the golf puns. You know the scary part, the really scary part, is it's got this little logo, as seen on TV. When was that on TV?
At night on Skinamax.
Agreed.
Yeah, but they don't show
They don't show commercials on
that.
Skinamax anymore. No. It would have to be during like late night on like.
That's a premium cable. Maybe infomercial or something. I don't know. Okay, the next one is wow. Okay, it's a pocket pussy. But it's got, not only does it have teeth, it has vampire fangs.
Holy shit.
A pussy that has vampire fangs.
Like that.
It's called the Suck You Dry.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
the
gonna
movie
send you the
Teeth.
picture. It's the Suck You Dry.
Let me see this.
I guess for the male Twilight fan. Seriously.
I have no words.
What the hell? Yeah. It's never gonna happen, ever. That thing's coming nowhere near my junk, I'll tell you that much.
Come on, happy birthday.
Moving along. Okay. Wow, the next one is a bunny tail butt plug.
Oh.
I'm just going to move past that very quickly. The next one is a cast of the porn star Belladonna's feet. I guess for the foot fetish who wants plastic feet to do something with. I'm not really into feet the way that some guys are, so I don't understand the need for that.
So, yeah, no.
That's weird. I'm just going to move on. Then we have the Robo Penis Pump. The Robo Suck Penis
Oh my
Pump.
goddess.
I guess it's just the same as any other penis pump, but the fact that it uses the RoboCop font and it's called Robo Suck is kind of scary.
Well, you tell me as a guy looking at that, what would you think?
I'm not getting anywhere near any of those things.
There you go.
Yeah. The next one is... What?
Well, it made him go, what?
This doesn't even make sense.
It does. Even though-
No, it really doesn't. It's a dildo, but it has a hand around it. Like, so it's like a dildo that's getting a hand job. Let me send you the picture. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, I want my dildo to be getting a wristy while I use it. I mean, what the hell? An old-fashioned.
Let's see this. What?
Yeah,
The whole thing is supposed to fit.
Yeah,
You know where.
Yeah, maybe if you're a porn star, I don't know. Wow. Okay, and the last one on here is really frightening. It's the male chastity belt, which I guess wouldn't that really be an
I was just
anti-sex
gonna say, wouldn't
toy?
that be an anti-sex toy? The male chastity belt?
Well, that's gonna
Yeah,
take some.
wow. Well, those are all very frightening. So
I'm going to also give it a 10 out of 10. Although the male chastity belt, I think for all of you guys out there, is pretty damn frightening. So, yeah.
I don't know why you would want it.
It's for BDSM purposes.
Oh, dominate, yeah, submission.
I guess, but I don't know. There's probably better ways to go about that. All right, moving on. We're getting back on schedule here. This next list was sent in by Benny Gesserit. He didn't write it. It comes from listverse.com and is the top 10 most influential metal bands.
Ooh, okay, right up my alley. Let's go.
So, let's see. Number 10 is Napalm Death, and there's no doubt that they're highly influential. They created grindcore.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
And even if you don't really like grindcore, you have to admit that, you know, creating a genre is something amazing. And I have to say, I'm sort of neither here nor there on grindcore. I'm rather picky about it, but I have to say,
Napalm Death is awesome. You know, I'm not really much into grindcore, but they are the best.
But they do it the best. Yeah. My favorite album by them is The Code is Red.
Oh, yes, that's my favorite one, too.
That is an awesome album. There you go. Number 9, another creator of a genre is Death, who created death metal. I loves me some death metal, and I'm a huge
Every
fan
day I'm
of
listening to death metal. Every single day, especially when I'm working. So, yeah, definitely.
And my favorite album of theirs is, it's tough, actually. Individual Thought Patterns.
I think that's one of my favorites.
That's my favorite right now, anyway.
Yeah.
My favorite right now, yeah. Number 8 is Slayer, who, now they didn't create a genre because, you know, they're thrash. There's been thrash bands before them. But in a way they kind of did, because Slayer paved the way for the more, because they were the heaviest band
they
ever
actually,
at the
I
time.
think they paved the way for death metal. I think they really did.
They paved the way for death metal, black metal, and grindcore. The extreme metal genres all sort of pull their influence from Slayer. Metallica had kind of fooled around with that kind of stuff a little bit, but Slayer went in, you know,
they
first.
did. They really did. I have to. Slayer is the heaviest thrash metal band there is out there. So
yeah.
Well, actually, not anymore. But
number 7. And since I'm naming my favorite album for each of these, I have to say my favorite album by them is Christ Illusion.
Yes.
Number 7, I can't say I agree with this, is Manowar.
No, I don't remember that.
Now, I understand they want to put a power metal band on here, and they're representing power metal basically, but I don't know, Blind Guardian or I don't know.
No,
how about
that's
Halloween?
what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Halloween would have made a lot of sense. And is Halloween on this list? No, Halloween's not on this list, so that's strange. I don't agree with that one. Number 6, if you like your metal avant-garde, we have Celtic Frost.
Celtic Frost. Okay, yeah. All right.
They've done so many different sounds. I mean, they did the hair metal album, they did the avant-garde stuff, they did the black metal. They've done everything.
They're a jack of all trades, pretty much.
Master of all. Except the hair metal, they didn't do very good at that. I like hair metal, but they didn't do very good at it. Number 5, another genre creator is Venom.
Oh,
the creators.
They're one of my favorites.
Metal.
Love Venom.
Of course. You know what's funny is that Venom doesn't take themselves seriously, and so many black metal bands do. And of course, the genre has become so different from what they did. But this stuff is
it's great.
Fun, I mean,
because they don't take themselves seriously.
If you want to just goof off and just, I mean, they're kind of like the AC/DC of their genre. You know?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4 is
Motorhead. Oh, come on, you can't go wrong with Motorhead. Shit.
I have to disagree with their inclusion on this list, though. They are influential, but they're the only thrash band on this list.
Metallica's not on there?
No Metallica, no Megadeth. Oh, they have Slayer, so there we go. But no Metallica, no Megadeth, no Anthrax.
That's really odd.
But Motorhead.
I love Motorhead, but I think if you're going to have Motorhead on, you should have at least Metallica or Megadeth on there, and, you know.
Not having Metallica, they don't have Metallica on here, but not having Metallica on is a cardinal sin, I think, because they are possibly the most influential metal band of all time. Number 3 is Iron Maiden.
Maiden.
Can't argue with Iron Maiden.
Fuck, man, you know.
Yeah. Can't argue with them. And by the way, my favorite Iron Maiden album is A Matter of Life and Death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the same page there, huh? Yeah. Well, what's your second favorite?
You have to think about that one. That's a toughie.
It's for me. It would be Brave New World.
That's a good one, but I don't think it's one of my favorite. I have to think about that one.
Okay, so we do differ on that. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Number 2 is Judas Priest. Really? I mean, they are influential, but
No, no,
they're not more influential. They're not more
no, they're not
influential
more
than Iron
influential than
Maiden.
Iron Maiden, and that should be given to a spot like Metallica or Megadeth
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Can't argue with number one though. Number one is
Black
Black
Sabbath. Ah, yeah, yeah, and Chris had just gave the metal sign. So yeah,
The metal horns. And by the way, my favorite Black Sabbath album, and you might disagree with this,
Dehumanizer.
is Dehumanizer.
Fuck yes.
Really? So you're a fan
Hell
of the DL
yes.
albums too, huh? Okay, there you go. That's crazy because there's so many different albums. Oh my god. I have to say there's two bands that are sorely missing on this. Megadeth, Megadeth is, but the two that I was thinking of was Metallica and Led Zeppelin.
Why isn't Led Zeppelin on there? That's really weird.
I don't, maybe they don't consider them metal, but they so are. I mean, listen to what they play.
And Metallica not being on there is a cardinal sin. It really is. I mean,
yeah, but overall, it is a good list. I like that they included Napalm Death, Celtic Frost, some of the lesser known ones. I do have to take off like a gang of points here, but I'm going to be generous.
I'm actually going to say 6.
A 6, yeah. I mean, yeah, not having Metallica.
You got to have Metallica on a list like that.
Regardless of you could hate them, but you still have to acknowledge that they are one of the most influential bands. He mentions Metallica actually here. He says he feels like he cheated them.
I have to agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Cheat them. Shouldn't have done that. Okay, here's another list. This is a top 50 list sent in by RPG Gal Gamer 30.
I know that one. Yeah.
One of our super fans. And she sent in her top 50 final bosses.
Ooh, okay. I'm down for this. All right.
And I have to say, one thing that I really, really like about this is that she included the system and
she actually included the system too, huh?
So that if there's one that, yeah. So if we don't know like who it is, the boss, we know. And of course, we know from her name, and we know her a little bit, that there's going to be a lot of RPGs on here. But just looking at it, I can see also a lot of other types of games. So it'll be interesting. So starting at number 50, and I'm going to go 5 at a time here, and then we'll talk about it, okay? Okay, so number 50 is Saturos and Minardi from Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance. Number 49 is Gigas from Earthbound on the Super NES. Number 48 is, and I know we're bursting, but we gotta wait. Number 48 is Ansem from Kingdom Hearts on PlayStation 2. Number 47 is Orphan from Final Fantasy 13 on the Xbox 360. And number 46 is Alduin from Skyrim on PC. Okay, let me just say, they could have just left off the last two right there.
No. Gigas.
Gigas, Saturos, and I didn't even get through Golden Sun because I thought it was just
I never got to the final boss, and also because of the same reason I couldn't get through it. So, in Earthbound, everybody knows our view on Earthbound already. So,
yeah,
it just
sucks.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Kudos for
that's really cool.
Alduin,
I'm glad to see Alduin on there. Actually,
yeah. Okay, let's go to the next 5. Unless you have anything else to say about those. Okay. Number 45 is Necron from Final Fantasy IX on PlayStation. Number 44 is Endelicio from Star Ocean: The Second Story on PlayStation. Number 43 is Lanius from Fallout New Vegas on Xbox 360. And number 42 is Duskius from Septerra Core, it's a PC game, I guess. And number 41 is Dr. Fetus from Super Meat Boy
Dr.
on
Fetus,
the PC.
huh? Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Fetus. I'm gonna say, I mean, I agree with a lot of these. Necron, though, as much as I like Final Fantasy IX, he was kind of
it always felt like tacked on, like it was almost like an expansion pack or something.
Yeah.
It never felt like part of the actual story.
Yeah, exactly. But no real issues there.
I never heard of Septerra Core though. That's a new one on me.
Let me look that up. Actually, I don't even know what kind of game that is. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
We're getting educational here. It looks like a Diablo-style game from the screenshots I'm playing. So, let me look on Wikipedia. Yeah, it's an RPG by Monolith Productions. It's kind of a JRPG on the PC, which
Interesting.
is unusual.
Okay.
Yeah. It's never been on consoles.
Odd. All right.
It's weird, huh? Yeah, but it Monolith, though, is well known for a lot of PC
And they're
games.
pretty quality, too, so okay, I might have to check that out. All right.
PC. Well, don't confuse them with
Oh,
Monolith
that's right, yeah.
Soft.
See, I was actually doing that, yeah.
Yeah, different one. Yeah, don't confuse them with Monolith Soft. Okay, moving on. Number 38. I'm sorry, skipping ahead. Number 40 is the Emperor Mateus from Final Fantasy II. She's on PSP. She's actually only including one system that she prefers the games on for the ones that are multi-system. Okay. So for PSP. Chaos from the original Final Fantasy on PSP. Gottfried Groder from Bionic Commando on the NES. Dorgalua from Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together on PSP. And Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation. Say what you will about Sephiroth. It was a cool battle. The Emperor, say what you will about him, but he was cool too. I mean, Chaos.
They're all pretty iconic, yeah.
Not a fan of Bionic Commando.
I've never been a fan of myself, so I couldn't really talk about that one. Let's Cling Together, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that.
Yeah. Dorgalia, yeah, that's an interesting one too. Okay, moving on. Number 35 is Sauron from Lord of the Rings: The Third Age on Xbox. Number 34 is Grunty, or rather Gruntilda. She wrote Grunty for Banjo-Kazooie on the Nintendo 64. Number 33 is The Profound Darkness from Phantasy Star 4 on the Genesis. Number 32 is Altima from Final Fantasy Tactics on PlayStation and PlayStation Portable. She listed them both. And 31 is Xeon from Shining Force 2 on the Genesis. Mostly good choices. I honestly, as much as I think that Final Fantasy Tactics is the best Final Fantasy game, Ultima kind of falls into the same category as Necron, that it just kind of felt like...
Yeah, I always thought, like, the final boss was, what's his name? The,
Agrius.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's where the story...
Yeah, right
really
there. It was just like...
Ultima was kind of thrown in, I guess, as a big challenge because Agrius was...
Yeah, it never really felt good. But other than that, it was a pretty good choice. If Final Fantasy Star 4 in there, it's a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, good choices. All right, number 29 is The Cloud of Darkness from Final Fantasy III for NES and DS. Number 28 is Hyde Boar for the Third Birthday on PSP. Number 27 is Kaiser Ethis from Super Robot Wars Alpha 3 on PlayStation 2. Number 26 is Dr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on Genesis. And number 25 is Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time on
Interesting
Super NES.
choices. Huh.
All good choices, I think. All good choices. Cloud of I have to have some... The Cloud of Darkness was a cool design, but...
I never had a problem, but,
Well, she only has one move. Well, she has two moves, but she has one move that she uses all the time.
She's a spectacular boss. It's just,
so really one move. Yeah, pretty much. Moving on, number 24 is the Joker from Batman on the NES. Kudos if you can beat that guy. Number 23 is Sardius from Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super NES. Number 22 is Rapthorn from Dragon Quest VIII on PlayStation 2. Number 21 is the Creator from Final Fantasy IV: The After Years on PSP. And number 20 is Moloch from Knights of the Old Republic on Xbox. Once again, all good choices. I gotta say, kudos for putting the Creator on there. That was a cool boss. How many times did you fight?
I think four or five times, something like that. Yeah.
And then plus the times
as you're
escaping,
escaping. Yeah.
Yeah. Kudos for including Rapthorn. I wish he was higher on the list because that is one of the most epic last bosses in a JRPG.
Rapthorn's awesome. I love Dragon Quest VIII. But then again, you already know this.
Yeah. Yes. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Moving along. Number 19, Bowser from the original Super Mario Bros. On NES. Number 18, Zeus from God of War 2 on PlayStation 2. Number 17, The Ultimate Being from Parasite Eve on PlayStation. Number 16, Galleon from Lunar Silver Star Harmony on PlayStation Portable. And number 15, Dias from Xenogears on PlayStation. Now, I don't like Xenogears. I never got the Dias because I gave up after a while.
I would say Dias is awesome for a final boss. Yeah, I would say that.
I don't really agree with Bowser because...
For the original?
It was... What was the difference between the Bowser in World 8-4 and the Bowser in all the other worlds,
I don't quite agree with that.
I mean, he was a little tougher because he could throw hammers and spit fire, but if you're going to include any Bowser on this, any Bowser, it would have to be Bowser from
Galaxy.
Galaxy 2.
Hell yes. Yeah, I agree.
Or possibly Paper Mario.
Mario's Bowser was awesome, but yeah.
Yeah. But the other, I don't know, that was a weird one. I'm going to move on. Number 14 is a twofer because, well, you know why. Mike Tyson from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, who was later replaced by Mr. Dream. Same exact thing, just different sprite. Number 13, Dracula from Super Castlevania 4. She didn't put a system, but that's Super NES. Number 12 is Shandor from Ghostbusters on Xbox 360. Still haven't played that. Gotta get to that. Kudos for including number 11, Demuzid from Casper on
wow,
Xbox 360. And number 10, Zanza from Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. I gotta say, really great for including Demuzid. I thought he was awesome. It's scary as fuck.
I give kudos to her for that one. Wow, okay, yeah.
You know, Mike Tyson, one of the classics. Zanza, I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm like at the beginning, so I can't comment on that.
I can't comment on that one either, but yeah.
I do have to take umbrage with including Dracula from Super Castlevania 4. If you're going to include one Dracula from all the Castlevania games, and this is going to sound weird because you know I'm a fan of the newer ones, but his most epic form was in Castlevania 3.
Was it three forms for that one?
3 form. First you had him as the vampire, where he was making the fire come out of the ground, and then he appeared as the totem, and then lastly as the Zuzu statue.
I still can't beat it.
Loved fighting him. He's not that bad if you know the pattern. Moving on. Number 9. Number 9 is Satan from Dante's Inferno on Xbox 360. Number 8. Okay. Spoiler alert. Number 8 is Lucifer from Castlevania Lords of Shadows on Xbox 360. Number 7 is, spoiler alert, Corvus from Dragon Quest IX on the DS. Number 6 is Ganon from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS. And number 5 is X-Death from Final Fantasy V on Super NES.
Wow, X-Death really plays pretty high, actually. Huh.
That is way too high for X-Death.
I didn't think he was really that interesting of a final boss, but he's a treat.
Yeah. Ganon was cool though. Personally, I preferred the Ganon in Twilight Princess.
Funny that,
but actually,
I was just saying, I think Wind Waker had the best boss for that. But it's funny that she mentions the 3D version, the 3DS version of it.
Well, she's saying the one that she.
Oh wow! Okay.
Play,
cool.
You know? Yeah. Corvus kicked my ass the first time, which is shocking because I was over leveled. So that that was an interesting one for Dragon Quest IX. Lucifer and Castlevania. Wow. I mean, first of all, he deserves top 10 spot just for being voiced by
fucking A, man. Yes. Epic. What a battle! Beyond all epic.
And, yeah. Lucifer and Satan in Dante's Inferno. Actually, she has it reversed because they called him Satan in Castlevania. They called him Lucifer in Dante's Inferno. So she has them reversed, but that's the way it should be. Lucifer in Dante's Inferno. It was interesting, but it wasn't as good as the Castlevania one, and it is below Castlevania. I just think it should be.
I'd have to agree because when I was fighting Lucifer, now it was good, but it wasn't epic like Castlevania. No.
Okay. So here's the top 4. Is she missing one? Let me see, because we seem to have either I skipped one or she doesn't have 50 on here. Because I was doing 5 at a time and I only have 4 left. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I didn't skip one as far as I can tell. Maybe I just read 6.
Might have. That's all right. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure I didn't skip anything. Well, here's the top 4 then. Number 4 is Lavos from Chrono Trigger on Super NES and DS.
No,
can't argue there.
Definitely not.
Number 3, and I think you'll be very happy to hear this, is Xeon from Chronicles of a Dark Lord Episode 1 on
wow.
PC. Yeah. Well, she's a super fan for a reason. Xeon, man. Well, wait until she gets a load of who from the second game.
Yeah.
So let's see who beat Xeon. Number 2 is Zeromus from
yes.
Final Fantasy IV on Super NES and PSP. And her number, and I have to agree fully with you, RPG Gamer 30. Number 1
Yes.
is Kefka
I
from Final Fantasy VI.
wholeheartedly agree with her on that one. Yes.
Kefka wins.
Kefka wins hands down. Yep.
Hands down. I'm trying to think if there was anything that I really feel should be on here and isn't. I mean, a couple of them were weird, like Bowser from Mario. Like there's other Bowser, like I said, Paper Mario, Galaxy 2. Even Yoshi's Island had a really.
Yeah, I think the Bowser was a little odd. I also think. How is Shandor?
Bowser's on. Obviously, we don't agree with sound placement.
No. And I never played Shandor on Ghostbusters, so I don't know what that one's like.
I haven't gotten around to Ghostbusters myself, but it looked like a
yes,
cool
I really
game,
can't comment on that one. Oh.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think if there's anything that I felt really should have been on here. I mean, okay, I would have liked to have seen Zoma on the list, but she already had 2 from
she had
Dragon
Corvus
Quest,
and Rapthorn.
I mean, she did include Corvus and Rapthorn, so you can't really complain too much. She did give Dragon Quest a spot, 2 spots on the list.
So I don't agree with her placing Exidy so high out. That was a little too high, I think. X-Death. See, I'm thinking total now.
Exides is from Chronicles of a Dark Lord. Yeah, and he's not a last boss. I'm going to give this a 45
I'm
going
to say... I'm actually going to have to agree with that. 45 out of 50, yeah.
There you go. Now, this next one is a top 100 list sent in by Almighty Santa.
Thanks, Santa.
His top 100 favorite video games. Can't go wrong with this kind. I'm going to go by tens this time. All right, so let's see. There we go. Number 100 is... He didn't include systems, so I'm just going to make assumptions at some point. Number 100 is Adventures of Lolo on the NES. Number 99, Ristar, that was for Genesis. Number 98, Sonic Advance for Game Boy Advance. Number 97, Ikari Warriors. I'm going to assume it means the arcade one. Number 96 is Metal Gear. I'm going to assume he means the MSX one. Number 95 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He did specify the NES version for that. Number 94 is Kirby's Dream Land. That was on the NES. Number 93, Final Fantasy Legend. That was on Game Boy. Number 92, Phantasy Star 3. That was on Genesis. And number 91 is Turok. He specifies the original Turok game. So actually the full title would be Turok Dinosaur Hunter on Nintendo 64.
I don't agree with 2 of those.
Comments. Well, honestly, I don't think Ikari Warriors.
No, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original for NES, was a pile of shit.
I don't think it was a pile of shit. I think it's an underrated game. I think like it gets the AVGN treatment a lot. I don't think it belongs on a top 100 list. I don't think Metal Gear belongs on here either. Not. But I don't think Turok belongs on here. But so far
okay
it is the the 90s. So we can't complain too much. Number 90 is Metal Slug 2. I'm going to assume he means on Neo Geo. Number 89, Legendary Axe. I believe that was on TurboGrafx. Number 88 is Gauntlet. I'm going to assume the arcade version there. Number 87, Adventures of Lolo 2 on NES. He likes his Lolo. Number 86, Mega Man on NES. Number 85, Sonic Spinball on Genesis. It was also on Master System, but I'm assuming Genesis. Number 84, Golden Axe 2. I'm going to assume arcade there. Number 83, Metal Slug. I'm going to assume Neo Geo. And number 82, Turok 2. Seeds of Evil. That's on Nintendo 64. And number 81, Sonic Unleashed, which was on
Sonic Unleashed
system.
Does not belong in that list. It
Sonic
was horrible.
Was terrible. A lot of strange choices.
What was that other one? Sonic Spin.
Spinball.
I never liked Sonic Spinball. I mean, is it really that good? I mean,
no, it's not. It's infuriating. I'm just going to move on here. Number 80 is Legend of Zelda 2. I assume he means Zelda 2 Adventure of Link. To be fair, it is called Legend of Zelda 2 over in Japan. That's on NES. Number 79 is Tiny Toons. He does specify the NES one. Number 78 is Sonic and the Black Knight. That was on the Wii. Number 77 is Mario Party 2. That was on N64. Number 76 is Mega Man 12? There's not a Mega Man 12. I don't know. Or maybe he means Mega Man X2.
I think he means Mega Man X2.
But he Yeah, he put it as a Roman numerals, so I think he means Mega Man X2 and Super NES. But when you put XII like
Yeah.
that's actually 12. Number 75 is Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. That's on Game Boy Advance. Number 74, Dead or Alive. I'm going to assume arcade for that. Number 73, Medal of Honor. Well, he spelled it wrong. He spelled it like metal, like heavy metal. I don't know if you mean the original PlayStation one or if you mean the new one that was on 360 and PS3, because they're both just called Medal of Honor. So I don't know which one. Since he is including mostly older games, I'm assuming he means the PlayStation one. Number 72, Perfect Dark Zero on Xbox 360. And number 71, Samurai Showdown Neo Geo. Wow. Perfect Dark Zero, really? Sonic and the Black Knight. He really likes his Sonic.
Those are not good games, though.
I'm going to assume that he has, like, all the Sonic games on here because he's, like, a big fan and that, like, these are just the lower ones. That's the assumption I'm making right now. I mean, I like a lot of
Samurai Showdown. I'm actually surprised to hear that one. That's...
Well, I hope it's not the only one on here because I think everybody agrees that
2 I thought was the best one, but... Okay.
Moving on. Number 70, Sonic and the Seven Rings. That's... I think he means Sonic and the Secret... Wasn't it
Oh, you know, I gotta look
Rings
that up now.
on the Wii? I'm pretty sure it's Secret Rings. Well, you look that up. I'm going to continue. Number 69 is Mario Golf. He's specifying the N64 version. Number 68, Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. That's on the DS. Number 67, Final Fantasy III. He is specifying the DS version for that. Number 66, Final Fantasy Legend 2. That's on Game Boy. Number 65, Super Paper Mario. That's on the Wii. Number 64, Wolfenstein 3D. That's the PC. Somebody's IMing me, so I just got all confused there. Number 63, Final Fantasy 12. That's on PlayStation 2. Number 62, Strider. He is specifying the Genesis version of Strider. And number 61, Adventures of Lolo 3 on NES. Well, I do agree. Adventures of Lolo 3 was the best one.
Yeah.
I know you don't like Final Fantasy 12,
I don't like it,
but I do.
Yeah.
So.
I did, yeah.
IM me? Who IM'd me? Oh, okay. Let me see what you...
It is Secret Rings.
It is Secret Rings. Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
And I actually took a look at it, and no.
It's like Sonic and the Black Knight. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Out of these, I mean, I don't have too much to talk about here. There's nothing bad here, really.
Kind of mediocre games, though.
Just a little off.
No, not bad.
Just... Okay, so continuing. Number 60, he says Final Fantasy 2. I don't know if he means like 2 or 4, but since he got the numbering right for 3, I'm going to assume he means like 2 on NES or PSP. Number 59 is Smart Ball.
Oh, Smart Ball.
Smart Ball. I'm trying to think, have I played that? I think I might have done a video on. I'm looking this up. I have to look this up. Smart Ball. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, I have played that. It's a cute little platformer.
Oh, okay. Fun. Yeah, I see it.
Number 58, Dragon Quest on NES. Number 57, Sonic Advance 3. That's on Game Boy Advance. Number 56, Commando. He's specifying the NES version for Commando. Number 55, Resident Evil 3. I'm going to assume PlayStation version. Number 54, Half-Life. I'm going to assume for PC. Number 53, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That was on Super NES. Number 52, Ninja Gaiden. Once again, this is why you got to put the system, because I don't know if he means the NES one or the Xbox one. But based on what I've seen on this list,
the NES one,
probably means the NES one. And 51 is Call of Duty PC. So there you have it. Once again, well, I don't like Half-Life. I'll be honest with you, but I understand why people.
I'm not a huge fan of Half-Life. Never have been. So.
But there's nothing really to complain about on here. It's just, it's not that they're bad choices. It's just that they're kind of weird.
To me, they're not just really odd, but they're kind of. I mean, they're mediocre games. They're not great. You know.
Yeah, out of these, like the best game out of these 10 is probably.
Oh, I love that game. Yeah.
That was a cool game. Number 50, Twisted Metal 3 on PlayStation. Number 49, Nightmare Creatures. That was on a couple of systems. Number 48, Dragon Quest 2, NES. Number 47, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories on PlayStation 2. Number 46, Golden Axe Warrior. That was on Master System, I think. Oh, it was like a Zelda type thing. It's actually really good. Yeah. Number 45 is Tekken 2. I'm going to assume arcade for that. Number 44, Sunset Riders. He specifies Super NES version for that. Number 43, Contra Hard Corps. That was on Genesis. Number 42, Sparkster. He specifies the Super NES Sparkster. And number 41, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for NES. Can't go wrong
Contra
with that.
Hardcore is a little odd choice, though.
I thought it was really good, though. I think that's an underrated game. I think the list is getting better. I think the only weird thing in this group was... what was I going to say? Nightmare Creatures.
It's a decent game. It's
sort of a turn your brain off type of thing, I guess.
Weird list.
Yeah. Number 41 is Wipeout for PlayStation. Number 40, Fable 2. I'm going to assume Xbox on that. Number 39, World of Illusion with Mickey Mouse. That's
yes,
Genesis,
it was,
right? Yeah. Number 38, Tekken. I'm going to assume arcade for that. Number 37, Call of Duty 3. That was only on 360. Number 36, Metroid Fusion. That was Game Boy Advance. Number 35, Diddy Kong Racing for N64. Number 34, Twisted Metal for PlayStation. Number 33, Sonic Rush on the DS. Number 32, New Super Mario Bros. On the DS. And number 31, Call of Duty 2 for PC. Okay, a couple things here. Is he only including the bad Sonic games?
Sonic Rush?
Well, all right, I gotta say, the only good thing that I can say about Sonic Rush is that it's better than Sonic Rush 2, which is, well, you remember my reaction.
Oh, I think everybody does, actually, if they've been watching your channel. Yeah.
I think I had a brain embolism at that point. Other than that, there's not too much weird. I didn't like Diddy Kong Racing that much because I felt it was Mario Kart ripoff. But everybody does Mario Kart ripoffs now. So
yeah,
there you have it. I mean, this past week I have seen 2 games come out that way. 2 games announced that I've seen the trailers for that are like the biggest ripoffs I've ever seen. One was Game of Thrones, which looks like they reskinned Dragon Age 2, and the other is the new PlayStation All-Stars game, which looks like they reskinned Super Smash Bros.
Same thing. Yeah.
So, yeah. Moving along. Number 30, Final Fantasy Legend 3. Number 20, that's Game Boy. Number 29, Mega Man 2 on NES. Number 28, Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm going to assume Xbox 360. Number 27, Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. That's Game Boy Color. Number 26, Final Doom. That's PC. Number 25, Final Fantasy 11. That's also PC. Number 24 is Mega Man 6. And he puts a note here, this is not my all-time favorite Mega Man. That would be 4. So I assume Mega Man 4 is on the list after this. Number 23 is Toe Jam and Earl. That was Genesis. Number 22, Super Mario Brothers. That's NES. Number 21, Spear of Destiny. That was PC. And number 20... that's 10 right there. Let me stop there. Spear of Destiny. Okay, so once again, not bad choices, but just weird ones.
I'm a little concerned about the about where he's putting like the Mario Brothers games and Call of Duty and.
You know, I gotta say something. I like Almighty Santa. I think he's a cool guy. He always leaves me great comments, and he's been a great contributor to List Critics. But I think he might have been on drugs when he wrote this list. And I'm going to say why, because I just peeked ahead, okay? And Mega Man 4 is not on the list. Mega Man 4. But he says that 6 is not his favorite, 4 is. So why did you not include 4? It's your favorite games, right?
Weird.
I think he might have been smoking when he did this. As for the Call of Duty stuff, I mean... Well, Black Ops is the best one. He does have one more Call of Duty on here. Toe Jam and Earl I didn't like. Final Fantasy 11 I couldn't.
I guess my brain kind of went, really, for hearing Final Fantasy 11, an MMO that was Final Fantasy 11, really?
At least you didn't put Final Fantasy 14 on here. All right, continuing. Number 20 is finally a good Sonic game. We put Sonic and Knuckles on here. Sonic & Knuckles, that was Genesis. Number 19, Mortal Kombat 2, arcade. Number 18, Ultimate Doom, PC. Number 17, Super Mario RPG, obviously Super NES there. Number 16, Dragon Quest 3, that was NES, and Game Boy Color. Number 15, Legend of Zelda, NES. Number 14, Herc's Adventures. Well, Julie will like that that's on here. That was PlayStation. Number 13, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That was all the systems, really. Number 12, Twisted Metal 2. That was PlayStation. And number 11, Doom 2. That was PC. He hit on a couple of pet peeves of mine there.
I'm going to let you talk about them, yeah.
One was Mortal Kombat 2 being the best Mortal Kombat, which is a huge pet peeve for me. Another is putting Doom 2 over the original Doom.
Yeah.
And Modern Warfare 2, really? I mean, that's better than Black Ops?
I mean, I'm not even a Call of Duty fan, but even I know Black Ops is the best.
I'm not dissing on it. It was a good game, but it's not better than Black Ops. All right. Ready for the top 10? I'm not ready for the top 10.
Kind
Are you
of.
ready for the top 10? Here we go. Number 10 is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That's Genesis. Number 9, Final Fantasy V. I'm going to assume PlayStation for that. Number 8, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. That's PlayStation 2. Number 7, Final Fantasy IV. So that does clear that up. He did mean 2 earlier. I'm going to assume PSP. Why not? Number 6, Super Mario World. That's Super NES. Number 5, Skyrim. We'll say Xbox 360. Why not? Number 4, Final Fantasy VII. That was PlayStation. Number 3, Super Mario Bros. 3. That's NES. Number 2, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. That's Super NES. And his number 1 pick is Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's odd.
Weird.
I've never seen
Very strange. I mean, 10 good games, you know.
Oh, no,
nothing
great
in there
games.
sucked.
Just Mario Galaxy for number 1? Really?
But, Mario Galaxy 2 is better. Maybe he hasn't played it. Final Fantasy VII's
not
the best.
No, it's overrated, and there is a reason why it's overrated.
And as for Grand Theft Auto, putting Vice City above Vice City Stories is a little weird.
I've only played Vice City, and I haven't played any of this. I couldn't speak to that, but
Vice City Stories is far super. You get to go to a Phil Collins concert and beat people up backstage.
Dude, okay, yeah.
I mean, that's just awesome in every way, shape, or form. But okay, okay, he has a note here. I didn't see this before. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games that were not included on his list due to tying with other games. But he doesn't tell me which ones they tied with. So we'll just say that these are the honorable mentions. So these are the games that they tied with games in his mind and he didn't include them. Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Plock, Crystalis, I hate Crystalis, Mega Man 4, there it is, Mario Kart 64, Mega Man 3, and Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time, like it's an honorable mention. Wow.
Well, he said it tied with some. See, I think that would have been it would have been really helpful if he would have said which games those.
I mean, like the Mega Man 4 one, we already know what that tied with. That was. Yeah.
Honestly, I gotta say this: if you have ties, just pick which one you like better. I mean, you have you have 8 games here that did not include on this list. Knock off the last 8 and include them.
There you go.
I'm sorry, Almighty Santa. I usually like your lists, but I did not like this one.
On the fence about it for a lot of reasons.
I'm gonna give it a 38 out of 100. Sorry, I apologize, but this was. And
I've liked his earlier list too, but I have to say 35. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I have one last list. And this one was sent in by the Emperor of Nothing, one of our super fans. And this is his, and this is funny. I mean, I love the way he wrote this too. The Emperor's top 10 worst RPGs ever. Ever. So let me scroll down because he started from number 1. Okay, and he included lengthy notes on each one, including his thoughts.
Oh, I love it.
Like these games. Yeah. Number 10 is Eternal Eden for PC. He says, it's a game that was just meh on all accounts. Everything from the story to the graphics to the music was substandard. The dialogue was okay at some points, and there were some graphics that at least had a little bit of promise, but those were the best points I can offer up for a game lacking any real polish.
Never played it.
I haven't played it. I don't even really know anything about it, but I gotta say it looks like he has a well-constructed
I'll give him that, yeah.
So... Yeah. He's saying it's average, I don't, but though he's saying it's average, I don't know, does that really mean it's one of the worst ever? Yeah, I'm sure there's worse RPGs than that. Number 9, Final Fantasy XI for PC. I've just got this. This is what he said. I've just got this to say, Square Enix. You should have stopped with MMOs after this game. This game is so forgettable, it should have never been conceived of. It failed to live up to being a numbered part of what was once a great series. If you're going to do an MMO, then don't have it be a numbered part of a popular series. Isn't he echoing what I've said a million times?
I totally agree with that, yeah.
I have to agree completely with that. Number 8 is, and I like this game, and I know you don't love it, but you like it, so this is going to be interesting, Final Fantasy 13. He says, I like linearity in RPGs that are out to tell a story and not be an MMORPG or another Elder Scrolls, but there's a such thing as too damn linear. This game takes linearity to the next level and then some. The things that make an RPG so great, such as exploration and visiting towns and cities across a wide world map, are missing from this game. The battle system is a hectic mishmash of what used to be a great system turned into what appears to be one long-running glitch. I swear the developers made this battle system
I disagree with that. I have to just...
Well, I do disagree with that. I really liked... Well, you know, we do know that
it is a polarizing game. I mean, I actually did... I enjoyed it to a degree. I really did.
You either like it or you hate it. You either like it or you hate it. And he hates it. Number 7 is Final Fantasy XIV. Can't say I'm surprised to see this one on the list. There's a reason why the launch for both platforms went horribly wrong. The PlayStation 3 version is so horrible it has yet to launch. The game is rife with bugs and glitches, the gameplay is laggy, the menus are convoluted, and the story and quests are laughable.
Agreed.
I'd say harsh, but he's not really being harsh, he's just being honest.
That's pretty honest.
It's true. Everything he said is spot on there. Number 6 is, I'm seeing a pattern here, Final Fantasy X-2
really?
for PlayStation 2.
I like that.
I didn't mind it, but let's see what he says. Square's answer to Charlie's Angels, complete with weak story and laughable dialogue. The graphics are on par with Final Fantasy X for the most part, which is fine, but the music really took a dive here. The only thing saving this game is the battle system, which introduced a very cool concept.
I don't know, I kind of liked it. Maybe...
I think it was sort of a... I think people were expecting it to be like 10, and instead it was sort of the other side of the coin, you know. 10 was a very serious, dark sort of story, and, you know, whereas 10-2 was very...
Yeah, I mean, and he's right about the battle system. The battle system's great in that game. It really is.
And I think you might agree with this next one. I vehemently disagree with this next one, is Final Fantasy 13-2.
To a degree, I guess, yeah.
I mean, I see that, you know, if you didn't like 13, I can see, alright, it does sort of stand a reason they wouldn't like 13-2, although 13-2 did fix every issue that he had in the first game. About this one?
Yeah.
So let's see what he has to say. The whole time travel aspect of the game is really a really poor ripoff from Chrono Trigger and Radiant Historia. The story is very weak and seems to be just a small stage to show off the game's graphics and design, and the battle system is pretty much the same as 13's, and I already stated how I felt about that. This game epitomizes graphics and music over substance. Honestly, I felt that it kind of falls into the same category as Final Fantasy X-2, that it was sort of the other side of the coin.
The story wasn't as good as 13, I'll give him that, but it did improve on everything, though.
The gameplay was awesome. It's a lot. I mean, I
care for it, but I can appreciate what it is, though.
Yeah. Number 4 is Final Fantasy VIII. I think everybody agrees on that, except Mega Gray. He liked it. But this is what he says about Final Fantasy VIII. Let's make a game where you can break it to hell within the first hour of playing it. Yeah, great idea there, Square. Extremely unbalanced gameplay. The love story of this game is horribly done, and the main character is an idiot with the emotional depth of a piece of lint. The only thing... I agree. The only thing going for this game is the music and the graphics. Can't go wrong with Nobuo Uematsu, and the graphics are far better than Lego Final Fantasy VII. How many times have I called Lego Final Fantasy?
It's true.
I think you might have heard me say that. I gotta agree. That's the worst Final Fantasy right
totally
there.
Agree.
Number 3 is Illusion of Gaia
really?
Super NES. Now this he left a very small note, and I understand what he's saying here. He says, "I not understands this game. No sense it makes us." It is true that Illusion of Gaia makes absolutely no
It
goddamn
is true,
sense
but the
at all.
gameplay is awesome, though. I mean,
I don't know if it's a bad translation or if it was just like that. I kind of think it was just like that.
I think it actually...
To be honest, though, I can understand where he's coming from because it seems like he's the kind of guy that's in it for the story.
So gameplay doesn't make up the story, so...
And that, you know, I had a lot of fun playing.
Oh, me too, but...
Yeah. It didn't make any sense. Number 2 is ambitious because he includes an entire series.
Oh my god.
Number 2, the entire
Avian
wow,
holy
series
shit.
For PC. He says RPGs are supposed to have good stories, right? Ones that immerse you into the world and make you want to care about what happens, right? If you're looking for that with these games, look elsewhere. The story is rife with horribly done cliches. The characters are without any sense of depth. The gameplay is glitchy and lagged. Enemies and bosses are without any real balance. Music is extremely dated, and the graphics, even for a retro game, are just dull and uninspiring. Burn. Are you ready for number 1, Tanya? Are you ready to giggle like a schoolgirl when I say what number 1
I am ready to giggle like a schoolgirl.
Number 1 of the Emperor's top 10 worst RPGs ever is Earthbound. I hate Earthbound. It's overrated as
Thank you, Emperor.
fuck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You just made up for putting Final Fantasy 13-2 on there. Alright, let's see what he had to say. The plot is contrived and immature even for a 9-year-old kid. The dialogue in the game makes me want to projectile vomit. The music is absolutely horrid. The graphics are subpar compared to other quality Super NES games out there. The characters have as much depth as a wet potato, and you just... and you destroy... I'm sorry, that's... Potato's funny, but... And you destroy the final boss by praying at it. The only somewhat decent aspect of this game is the challenge of battles.
Wow. Wet potato.
Yeah.
The
word potato is funny. I showed you that potato game, right, Tanya?
Madness. It did.
Did it give you nightmares?
It was madness.
Yeah. It's disturbing. Actually, speaking of nightmares, did you see that Happy Wheels game that I did?
Fuck.
What the fuck, man? Okay, though, let's rate this list. Okay, now, all right, I don't agree with everything on here. I don't agree with 13.2 and 10.2 being on here, or 13 for that matter. I haven't played Eternal Even, and I've never played any of the Avian games, and I liked Illusion of Gaia. So it seems like there's more bad than good here. However, I have to fully agree with the stuff that the rest of it, Earthbound, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy 14 and 11. Most of what he says is valid. I mean, even in the stuff that we disagree on, it is his opinion. So I'm not going to be too harsh here. I'm going to give this a 7.
I'm actually going to be I'm actually going to give him an 8. I thought that even though I disagree with him on some of those things, I think he presented a really well-rounded argument. So yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not just saying, "Well, it sucks," you know. He has reasons. So, and I could, even if I don't agree with them, and I can understand them.
I loved his Earthbound one. That was great.
So well, let's face it. Anything that makes fun of Earthbound, we're gonna laugh at.
It is.
It's funny.
It's just the wet potato. Great.
Especially since that, Earthbound flew under the radar for so long, and then all of a sudden became this cult fanatic game that everybody's talking about it like it's on par with Chrono Trigger. And it's not.
Put this way, everything you guys just heard, what the Emperor was talking about, is so true. It really is. Like, yeah. I'm not just saying that. It really is.
Well, it's interesting because I do know a lot of my fans and people that are on my channel love Earthbound, and good for them. Somebody had to enjoy the game. I mean, it's actually almost a shame that we don't have Jesse here because he loved it. And we would get, we would get into arguments about it. And well, actually, I know he's listening, so I'm going to rub it in his face. He put Earthbound at number 1. Worst RPG ever.
And he really went to town in those indie RPGs. Wow, I'm really shocked by that, actually. Wow.
Well, indie doesn't mean good, just the same as
Yeah,
mainstream
it's
doesn't
true.
mean
I never
good.
played them, but yeah.
It's good. It's good to see that people are starting to hold indie games to the same
Which
standard that they
actually,
hold
I
everything
have to
else
agree.
to.
It's awesome. That's awesome to see.
So there you have it. You know. But yeah, that's List Critics.
Awesome. It was great.
I had fun.
Yeah.
I had fun this time. My ears are hurting like hell right now, but actually nobody they don't know about that. My headphones are on their very last legs and were not working properly. So I'm using my earbuds from my MP3 player, which are incredibly. I hate earbuds; they're incredibly uncomfortable. But I have inner ear monitors, but I couldn't find them in time to do this. Have you ever used inner
I
ear
have actually,
monitors,
yeah,
Tanya?
and
They're very comfortable.
they
Yeah,
they
those are
are.
wonderful.
They really are.
You
No,
don't even know they're
it's
there. Well, the person who sent me them is a big audiophile, and she was like, you should try it, and I'm like, well, I don't like things in my ear, and she's like, trust me, and try it. So she's like, I'm gonna send you these. If you don't like them, just send them back. I said, okay. I tried them. I'm like, oh, I'm keeping these.
Oh, they are. They're absolutely great. Yeah, yeah. They're really.
So send me your lists. You can send them email, YouTube message, whatever. YouTube private message is the best way to send. I see one of them just fell out. YouTube private message, best way to send me your lists. You can find lists on the internet. You can write them yourself, anything you want. Whatever floats your boat, tickles your pickle, jerks your gherkin,
Oh, and
waffles
just
your
a
waffle.
little note, guys. Please send your list to Necro. Don't send them to the Kasara Studios channel. I appreciate it, but
Did you get a list
I could have
there?
sworn I might have got one like today. I'll have to take a look at it again, but
Well, actually, why don't you? Well, since we're here, why don't you
let
check
me
and
go
see if
check
it's
real
one of the
quick
ones
if
that
it was
I got?
today or not. Because I remember getting a
Yeah.
list on there, and hold on.
Because if that person doesn't know to send it to me, they might not, and we can just do it right now.
Let's
But
see.
for future purposes,
Go to my
please
inbox.
send it to me.
Do-do-do-do. Okay. It was the Emperor of Nothing sent me the same list as you, apparently. So
Oh, okay. Well, as long as they when they
no,
sent
they
it today.
sent it yesterday. I'm sorry.
Okay, I
Okay.
got it yesterday too. So they sent it to both. Yeah, just send it to me though. Just make sure you send it to me. So that's List
Have a
Critics.
great
We'll
one.
see you guys next month. Peace and chicken grease.